Good afternoon. I'm Wayne Lewis, Commissioner of Education, and we are really excited today to launch the new Kentucky Academy for Equity in Teaching. Some of you may be familiar with this program's precursor, who was known as the MERS Scholarship Program, the Minority Educator Recruitment and Retention Program. This is a revision of that program. The new Kentucky Academy for Equity in Teaching, or KATE, as we call it, is intended to help us to identify and recruit really highly talented, diverse folks, young people, and experienced professionals into the teaching profession. Many of you know that there is no factor at the school level that is more important than having a high-quality and effective teacher in the classroom. This program, through an appropriation of $1 million from the General Assembly, goes a long way toward helping us to identify that next generation of great talent that's needed to go into the teacher workforce to transform learning for our kids. So we have some guests. We are really excited to have with us Dr. Sherry Powers, Dean of the College of Education at Eastern Kentucky University, and also a member of the state's Education Professional Standards Board, to share with us. Dr. Powers, would you like to share with us?
Sure. I want to just speak for a minute about the importance of diversifying Kentucky's educator workforce. And thank you, Commissioner Lewis, for inviting me to be here today. I also want to just acknowledge that on behalf of the education deans at Kentucky's public universities, we strongly support KDE's commitment to provide all students with equitable access to effective, experienced, and diverse educators. The Kentucky Academy for Equity in Teaching supports our collective goals to recruit, develop, and retain an effective, diverse, and culturally competent workforce. There's a growing body of literature that suggests that demographic and racial matches between teachers and students impacts educational outcomes. For example, minority students often perform better on standardized tests, they have improved attendance, and are suspended less frequently when they have at least one same-race teacher. A recent study finds that a disadvantaged black male's exposure to at least one black teacher in elementary school reduces his probability of dropping out of high school by nearly 40%. And 13% of these students are more likely to attend a four-year college. Black students who had two black teachers were 32% more likely to go to college than their peers who did not have black teachers. A diverse teaching workforce, it really has the promising potential to inspire students from diverse backgrounds, to link cultural context to learning, as well as to increase college attendance, retention, graduation, and ultimate success in the workforce. These teachers, they do more than simply serve as role models. They help erode disruptive stereotypes that are presented in our culture that too often limit opportunities for people of color, for low-income individuals, as well as for women. In my own experience, my fifth grade teacher was an African-American educator in my school. Up to that point, all of my teachers and educational experiences were only with individuals who were just like me and my family. Even at we had similar opinions, we had similar experiences, as well as outlooks and goals. But even at this young age, Mrs. Newby pushed us to think about a lot of social issues, as well as the impact of poverty and prejudice in our country. My young eyes were opened to things I had never thought about before, and I was inspired, even then, to do something about it. The strengths and the perspectives of teachers from diverse backgrounds, they are beneficial to all students and life-changing for many learners in the classroom. As we know, organizational policies, laws, and institutions, they help signal a consensus regarding what we value and what we desire in our society. I really believe, as do many of my colleagues, that the Kentucky Academy for Equity in Teaching is a positive signal of Kentucky's intentionality to prepare a diversified educator workforce that is intended to benefit all student learning, achievement, and success. So we are very excited about partnering with the Kentucky Department of Education.
Thank you, Dr. Powers. Next, I'd like to introduce Robin Hebert, a leader from our Office of Educator Licensure and Effectiveness. Robin has actually been the point person, the lead on redeveloping this program, and so we're really thankful for her efforts. So I'll turn it over to you, Robin, to talk us through the program. Give us an overview.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity to share a little bit about this new teacher preparation program we're really, really excited about. I wanted to give a shout out to all the staff in the Office of Educator Licensure and Effectiveness who've worked so hard to figure out the details and to make this a reality for our students in teacher preparation programs. Some of the goals that we have in mind for the Kentucky Academy for Equity in Teaching are things that Dr. Lewis and Dr. Powers have already mentioned, that we really feel strongly about diversification of the workforce and to really improve the pipeline that is feeding into our pre-service preparation programs. And so we're also thinking about how we can recruit students from middle and high school into careers in education and improve how people think about careers in education. We also really are focused on the need to decrease the number of emergency certifications and critical shortage areas in Kentucky. So we really want to recruit students who show a lot of potential and promise in those areas, especially ones that have to do with core disciplines. CATE is a renewable loan forgiveness program for diverse candidates who are seeking initial certification. I do want to mention that we have plans for other programs that will support the entire career continuum for educators because we believe that diverse educators who are also principals and district leaders have a huge impact on recruitment and support for students. And so this is part one of quite a few programs that we'll be talking about in the near future. But it does provide a strong mentoring component for pre-service educators, and it also provides support for what has been traditionally a barrier for some of our students from diverse backgrounds, such as the qualifying assessments like the Praxis 1 and the Praxis 2, which is kind of their exit exam. And then there's just a huge opportunity for these students to learn from and network with other educators before they actually get into the classroom, and so we think that's really important. The details of the loan program are here on the screen. There are really two basic options that we have. One is for traditional educator preparation programs, and students are eligible for up to $5,000 in loan forgiveness money up to 4 semesters, and we have that they would complete that within 3 academic years. So if a student were to fall below the GPA that's required for 1 semester, it doesn't mean they're out. They can bring that GPA back up and be eligible for a total of 3 years, and so we want to leave a little bit of wiggle room in there for them to be successful, but the maximum available for the traditional preparation program is $20,000. The other option is for students who are involved with the Master's in Teaching program, and they're eligible for up to 4 semesters at $2,500 per semester within 3 academic years. So, of course, there are a lot of other really specific details that students might have questions about, but there's kind of an overview of what the options are. In order to be eligible, there are some minimum eligibility requirements that students must meet, and these are statutory. They would need to be a United States citizen and a resident of Kentucky. They need to meet the character and fitness requirements of EPSB, so they're eligible for certification once they complete the program. And that's just kind of a basic moral and ethics code. And they need to be enrolled in a public public state university educator preparation program. And there's an asterisk there because if students have met all of the entry requirements or they have submitted all the paperwork for enrollment but have not been officially enrolled, they're also eligible to apply. So we want to make sure that all students are eligible that way. There are some additional eligibility requirements, and students don't have to meet all of these, but they need to meet at least one of them in order to be eligible. And at the top of that list, of course, is to be a member of an underrepresented ethnic minority group that's defined in statute. But they also could qualify if they can demonstrate financial need, if they're a graduate of the Kentucky School for the Deaf or the Kentucky School for the Blind, if they're a former migratory worker or a child of a migratory worker, or if they're an English learner. They could be a veteran or a first-generation college student as defined by federal law. So those are some other requirements, and as I said, one or some students may meet more than one of those additional selection criteria. There are some other considerations for selection that I just wanted to make applicants aware of when KDE is reviewing applications. If students have completed our new teaching and learning pathway, or if they've been involved with the pathway, we want to really encourage students who are coming out of the pathway to apply. Also, we would look favorably upon membership in Educators Rising or enrollment in a critical shortage area or in a CTE pathway, and of course, well-developed written communication skills. We think that's really important for aspiring teachers. Ideally, the candidate, these are the types of characteristics we would like to see: a willingness to learn and participate fully in the mentorship program, a commitment to the success of diverse students. As you mentioned, Dr. Powers, we really want these candidates to come out as culturally competent practitioners. We want them to be highly energetic and impactful on the profession that they will serve, a commitment to equity, integrity, collaboration, and achievement, which are some core beliefs of our agency, and a long-term commitment to improving education for all students in Kentucky. Okay. I wanted to just mention a participant who in this program, there are quite a few different requirements for that, but I did want to mention that they should maintain an overall 3.0 GPA and a minimum of 2.75 per semester. And so if a student drops below a 3.0 at one time or another, as long as they maintain a 3.0 overall, they will maintain their eligibility. And so once a student becomes eligible, as long as they continue to meet those minimum requirements, the loan is renewable for those 4 semesters that they would be eligible to receive it. Okay. So the program works in this way. Once a student is selected through the application process, they would sign a forgivable loan promissory note agreeing to obtain a Kentucky teaching certificate and then agreeing to teach at least 1 semester for every semester that they're funded. And so they receive funds for 1 semester. 1 semester of teaching cancels out their repayment obligation for that semester. And so we think that that's a pretty generous opportunity for students and one that doesn't burden them long term. If they do not certify to teach and teach in a Kentucky public school, then the responsibility becomes a loan accruing interest at 6%, and it's repayable to KIA. What we hope is that that never happens. We want to make sure that these students are well supported and have every opportunity to be successful. So we hope that that part doesn't happen. So the timeline for this project, we're ready to roll with it right now. We want students in the spring semester of 2019 to be able to receive these funds. So the application is posted on KDE's KATE page, and so students are it's open for them to apply now. The applications are due by February 13th, the very end of the day, and we'll review those applications. And once the selections have been made, funds will be dispersed directly from KDE to the university. So Dr. Powers, if you have a number of students from EKU who apply and who are selected, then that money would go directly to the university and be applied to the student accounts for their use. And we hope to have those notifications out by March the 1st. That's our goal. That's our goal. So we really are asking folks to help us get the word out and recruit Kate applicants. I know that you had mentioned that the faculty at Eastern is really thinking about how to do that, and I know that we've heard from some other IHE partners who are also really trying to get the word out to eligible students and promote this program among students, and of course always assist them with their essays and their letters of recommendation, because they're going to need help and support from adult mentors. I did want to just mention that Heather Hackney is the contact person in our office for this project. She can answer a lot more questions than I can, the technical kind, and so Heather's contact information is included here as well, because she is very available to answer questions. Okay?
Thank you, Robin.
Absolutely.
Two things I wanted to just emphasize, and then we'll open up for questions. One is you heard Robin talk quite a bit about the importance of recruiting folks into the teaching profession. I believe that's an area where we've fallen short, to be honest, for generations. For many of our colleges of education, our educator preparation programs, we've had the luxury of having folks just come into college who wanted to be teachers, whether because their parents were teachers or they fell in love with the profession before they got to college and just decided that's how they wanted to spend their lives. And we've not had to go out and beat the pavement and tell people about what an amazing career teaching could be. The time is now where we no longer have the luxury of just waiting for folks to show up and say, we want to be teachers. And so an important aspect, I believe, of this program is the intentional recruitment of a diverse cadre of highly talented young people and experienced professionals, not just into the scholarship program, but into the teaching profession. The other part of this program that's significantly different than the way the MER scholarship worked previously is there's much greater ownership of this work by the Kentucky Department of Education than ever before. This work previously was very decentralized to the post-secondary institutions. With this iteration of the program, with Kate, you see a much deeper partnership between the Kentucky Department of Education and our post-secondary institutions. We think that partnership is critical, both on the recruitment end, on the support and mentoring end, and ultimately on the retention end, to building, continuing to build a high-quality teacher workforce that is reflective of the diversity of our state. So we're happy to take any questions in the room, and I think we'll take questions online as well, Jessica.
Yeah, for those who are watching over the internet, I would encourage you, if you have any questions, to send them to me at the moment. And my email address is jessica.fletcher@education.ky.gov. And I'm monitoring my email if anyone wants to send those. In the meantime, we have a few people in the audience, so we'll just open it up to any questions. Okay. Is there anything you all would like to add about the program or anything in general?
Just get the word out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we will definitely be sharing more information about this on KDE's social media accounts, hoping that we'll get some good stories as we send out this news release across the state, so that people who are thinking about teaching careers will know that this money is available.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're good if there's no other questions, but please feel free to email me and I'll be glad to answer any questions offline. Thank you.
Thank you.